Let's talk about Scream 7, because we finally have a release date, because Neve Campbell took to social media and Kevin Williamson to announce when we should be finally getting Scream. Because for what we've been hearing for the longest is that they're going to start filming in January. Still have no idea, because there was no further details on like when they're actually going to start shooting. But the rumor has been that they're going to start shooting because they're still working on the script. There were some things that they wanted to, yeah, they wanted to tighten up the script a bit. There's rumors that they're going to age up the kids, which I think is a smart move. Some people are like, oh, we don't need to age up the guy. They're going to make it like it's not realistic that you have the kids in the stroller in Scream 5 and then now they're teenagers. I'm like, have you not watched a soap opera? Or have you never watched like a TV show or whatever? Like, I'll use for example, like over the years when I used to watch soaps, my babysitter and my mother, because my mother watched ABC. That was the thing she did. You know, the woman have a damn 2-year-old, and then over the summer for summer sweeps, because the kids were at home, and it was like trying to get them young ones to watch the stories and stuff, which they beefed it up. The 2-year-old be like 16. So if they do it in the TV shows, they do it they do it in the soaps. They could do it in a movie. And no shade, but at Neve Campbell is like pushing. I don't know if she's 50 yet or she's getting close to 50. She's in her late 40s. We'll go with that. Late 40s, early 50s. We'll check that box. She would be at the point where, yeah, it's believable for her to have a teenage child. This is not like I Know What You Did Last Summer, where it's been 20 something years since we got I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. And you can actually put in the fact that Julie and Ray have a teenager, therefore there's been enough time that's passed. With Scream and stuff, you can kind of play in that whole wheelhouse. And I do think if you want to do some sort of thing where you want to pass the torch and make it like a legacy type of a sequel, then I think the smart thing to do would be to hire or just basically age up her kids. Because I believe she has 2 children. I'm trying to remember if they're twins or if it's just like she had 2 kids over the years individually. And then plus it gives all the other cast members enough time. And I really hope that Kevin Williamson is tweaking the script and making things work in his favor, because no shade, but I do not feel that Guy Busick, who was one of the writers on, because James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick wrote Scream 5 and Scream 6. There are moments they have. One of the things I will give them to is that they have ideas that they're good at executing. However, when it comes to their full-fledged out script, it has been disappointing. I don't like the plot armor. I don't like their third acts have been pretty much weak as well, especially in Scream 6. I cannot tell you how much I despise that third act. And I pretty much figured out who the killers were halfway through the movie, around the part when the therapist gets killed. That's what I figured out who it was. I was like, okay, it's the sheriff. And then that whole situation, and then Ethan, and then but the twist, I didn't know about the daughter. But Ethan and the cop, I pretty much figured out that they were part of that. But anyway, and I love the idea of like in the opening sequence where Samara Weaving gets killed, and the killer takes his mask off. Oh, by the way, shout out to, I forgot his name, Tony, I forget his last name. But I was like, let me find out, YouTuber Corey Jandro, because he was at his engagement party. I was like, let me find out you be knowing the YouTubers and hanging out with him and stuff. But anyway, he was one of the killers that was in the open sequence. I like that twist. There was like, oh, we revealing the killer in like the first 10 minutes. That was refreshing. But then it goes off the rails and into this cliche typical slasher movie, which was a disappointment in my opinion. Because like, oh yeah, we finally going in a different direction. So I really hope that what they're doing with this film is that they're rejudging and redefining the slasher movie genre. Because horror movies are on a resurgence right now, and with it being October 1st, this is like Halloween is like one of my favorite times of the year. It's my favorite month. There's a lot of great horror movies I've been seeing on Shudder already. They got all 8 Friday the 13th and all the other stuff. But anyway, let me not go on this tangent because I feel like I'm getting away from screen. Let's bring it back to the screen. So yes, so Neve and Kevin, well, Neve, I should say, took to the Twitter and I believe Instagram to reveal, well, actually it's Instagram because I have the Instagram photo. So basically they made it official that Scream 7 is opening on February 27th, 2026. Is that a leap year? I'm kind of wondering. So they said that is the only wide release on that date. And, they've endured some production delays, creative overhauls, and cast shakeups. The announcement was made on social media, as I said, by Neve Campbell, who is returning to the series after sitting out the sixth installment due to salary dispute, and Kevin Williamson, the creator of the series, as the director of the sequel. The film has a date to itself. No other major releases are slated to premiere against the Scream sequel. The following weekend, we'll see the release of The Cat in the Hat. Who the hell thought of making a Cat in the Hat? Whatever. I won't be saying it. And Disney and Pixar's Hoppers, both of which are aimed at family crowds. Well, good for them. Everything ain't for everything ain't for everybody. That'll be for y'all, you and people out there with their kids. Y'all go ahead and you do what you need to do with that. But me, I will be in the theater opening weekend watching this film. Now, here's the thing. As you already know, I'm still pissed off with the whole thing with Spyglass and what they did to Melissa Barrera and stuff. But Scream is one of my favorite franchises. And I'm sorry, because of this whole situation, I'll still be giving the middle finger to Spyglass throughout the whole film. But as a Neve Campbell fan and a Sidney Prescott fan and a Scream fan, I got to go and see this movie. Now, call me a hypocrite, I don't care. But me sitting this out, how's that going to hurt the movie? I mean, I could bootleg it. I mean, wait, maybe I should have said that on camera. But anyway, so they said because the whole thing with Melissa Barrera, who starred in the two films, she was fired last year over comments she made on social media about the Israel-Hamas war. And to me, it's like, I don't think she said anything bad. She was basically talking about a ceasefire, which is something we need. Like, I just saw a recent thing on CBS where it was, damn, I forgot their names, but it was with, I don't know, Gail King was up there and everything. And recently they just talked about the whole conflict. And the guy had a book that just came out where he was talking about it. And he was talking about, as somebody who came up in the Jim Crow South, he empathizes with what's going on with Palestine. We're not saying that Jews don't get to exist, but here's the thing: y'all don't get to go around killing and blowing people up and eradicating an entire race just so that way you feel the right of colonization and existing. Like, the way that y'all going about this thing is crazy. I don't want to get too political in this situation, but I feel like Melissa didn't say anything that was wrong. I feel like at a time when, if you're going to go against whatever, we should have these conversations and figure out, why do you feel this way, instead of being in this blanket, well, that's how you feel, well, you're going to be out of a job. And then we had Christopher Landon, who was the director of Happy Death Day, who I was pretty much excited to see be a part of this film, because you could clearly see him being an openly gay filmmaker, screenwriter, that sort of thing. I like a lot of his movies. The Scott, what is it? The Boy Scout movie that he did with the zombies. I love that film. Happy Death Day, I loved. I even like Freaky, even though Freaky didn't do that well at the box office. That was a really good movie, especially with the whole, swapping of. It was like what was it like the swapping of the bodies, where the girl ended up in his spirit, the serial killer spirit going on her, and they swapping bodies, and then we saw, that was that was a funny movie, and then the kills in it was pretty cool too. So I like Freaky. I would love to get a sequel to that, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. And I didn't particularly like Happy Death Day 2. It was getting a little too sci-fi-ish for me. And so I was really looking forward to him being a part of this franchise, because I feel like his movies speak that Scream language, and you can clearly see in those films the Scream DNA that he was clearly inspired, as many of us coming up in that time were, with those movies. But then this drama came about with people were harassing him, and the whole thing with Spyglass and them getting rid of um and getting rid of Melissa Barrera, so that they trashing him and they're harassing his kids because he's married, and this whole situation. And I'm sitting there like, what are y'all doing? Like, the extremists, the trolls, y'all just know y'all ruin it for those of us who actually appreciate and like this type of stuff. And here y'all go with y'all stupidness, just ruining it for everybody, instead of just being like, you know what, maybe it's not his fault. Maybe what you need to be doing is taking it up with the overlords who run Spyglass. But y'all not going to do that because y'all don't know who that is. And you don't even know if they have social media. So it's easy to go pick on an actor. It's easy to go pick on a director and harass them and troll them. So he ended up dropping out. And y'all went and just ruined his dream situation. And then they also said production was held up due to the SAG-AFTRA and WGA strike. So there's been a lot of things that's been going on with that. And Paramount is distributing the film. Spyglass is producing. So Spyglass also, y'all need to realize, is only one part of the Scream situation. There's many of, moving parts in this situation. So we all going to get back in Spyglass. We going to just mess it up for all the actors, all the crew, those people who need to pay their bills or whatever the case is. I'm not gonna fault them for how Spyglass treated Melissa Barrera. And here's the thing: if y'all was really going that hard for Melissa Barrera, where the hell were y'all when Abigail came out? Because I was in the theater. I went opening night to see Abigail in a theater, and it was like literally 10 people in there. And the movie flopped. But I hear that it's doing relatively well I think it's on Peacock. So it's doing well on the streaming. My damn water bottle sort of so I gotta fix the top. So yeah, the movie is doing well out here on streaming, but it flopped at the box office. So if y'all love Melissa Barrera so much, if y'all want to fight so hard for her, where the hell were y'all to prove to Spyglass that we don't need y'all? Screw y'all. I mean, that should have been the thing, but y'all didn't go out and support her movie. So it's just a bunch of, so I look at it as it's a bunch of damn hot air. A lot of y'all are fake ass activists, and I'm not getting wrapped up in the situation. Me, as a horror movie fan, as I said, I will be there with bells on opening night seeing this damn movie because Scream is Gen X and millennials slasher film. So y'all could try to judge it up for the Gen Z generation who were quiet as a scab. A lot of y'all don't even run to the movies and support film because y'all didn't grow up in that time of and Gen Alpha too. Y'all grew up in the internet era. So y'all weren't up in here going to the theaters like a lot of us generations were coming up where we went to the movies. A lot of y'all just watch things on your phone, bootleg it, or wait for streaming. And so I think that's all I pretty much have to say on this. So I say all this to say I'm pretty much excited for this movie. I am disappointed that we have to wait till 2026 for this film because I'm wondering why is it taking so long? Like with slasher films, it doesn't take a year. It's not like you're making Doom 3 where you need like 6 to 7 months to film that. It's a slasher film. You need like maybe what, a month and a half, 2 months tops in case you need to leave a little space for reshoots or whatever the case is. Like slasher films don't pretty much take a long time to make. So I'm wondering what's taking it so long. Is it because you're trying to wait for a lot of actors to be ready? Like Patrick Dempsey, he's doing the Dexter series, the prequel, and I think he's got other projects and stuff going on too. So I'm wondering if it has to do with we're waiting for actors to be available. We still haven't heard whether or not Courtney Cox, because she did reveal that recently, she hasn't signed on the dotted line, or maybe she's playing coy, or maybe she's still negotiating. I don't know. But we need Gail Weathers as a part of this franchise. So I am wondering what's taking so long and why the delay. Is it because y'all still working on the script and you want to make it airtight and you're having to come up with different versions? Because you already know when it comes to the Scream franchise, things leak. People don't. The thing about that I love about Scream is that it's very much Scooby Doo, and like a slasher version of Scooby Doo. We got to figure out who the killer is, which is why a lot of us go opening weekend because we don't want to get spoiled. So I wonder what all the reasons of why it's taking so long, or if it is becoming a situation where there is a possible trilogy in the works and they want to film everything back to back. So I'm wondering, it's a lot of questions left unanswered, but I'm sure as the days progress, we'll get a little more information in regards of what's going on with Scream 7, and I will be here to bring you those stories as they develop because it's October, Halloween, my favorite time of the year. So I ask all of you this. What do you think of this story? Are you excited for this upcoming Scream 7 movie that's coming out, and are you upset like I am that we have to wait damn near a year and a half because it's coming out February 2026 for this film to get a theatrical release? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.